Hello friends, welcome to this video talk on current affairs, the Indian economy and of course the banking sector. Let's begin our talk with the first question, and as usual we'll discuss a few questions in detail, the rest will touch and go. Okay, I remember your feedback's been that you have liked the sessions, you pretty much like the sessions, but importantly that you also want to learn a few things like yesterday I did discuss in detail balloon payment. Yes, I will discuss this not now, in some other context, maybe three, four sessions later I will discuss it. Do not worry. See, I have discussed much more than I have promised. We promised much more than what's there in the questions. We just don't touch and go. We are not here talking about ourselves. We are talking about, what's important for you from the exam, for the exams. Now, importantly, we have been sharing a lot of notes with you beyond this particular discussion, like stock markets and all. So in the sessions to come, we'll do this more often, in fact. Okay, so let's get on with this business. And in this session, I'm going to discuss a few questions in great detail. Let's look at the first question. What's the percentage of FDI permitted in multi-brand retail? We just started this new trend of having the answer right on the screen for you. What's in highlighted in bold is choice 3. That's the answer, 51%. So we have had this policy since about 5-6 years now, 5 years, 2015. But almost except for one company, no company from around the world has come to set up any business in India. Why? In multi-brand retail, there are problems. There are a lot of conditions the government has put. But before that, let me repeat the definition for FDI, foreign direct investment. Those of you are not greatly familiar, those of you who have just joined us, well, it is for them, and for the rest, it's a revision. Okay? So let's take this definition of FDI, foreign direct investment. Please write foreign direct investment. That's a full form of FDI. Underline that. First point. Capital brought in, BROUGHT, brought in by a foreign investor, by a foreign company to invest in the domestic economy, either through either through a joint venture, joint, J-O-I-N-T, joint venture, V-E-N-T-U-R-E, venture, or a wholly, W-H-O-L-L-Y, wholly owned, O-W-N-E-D, wholly owned subsidiary, S-U-B-S-I-D-I-A-R-Y, subsidiary, a wholly owned subsidiary, full stop. Let me repeat. Capital brought in by a foreign company to invest in the domestic economy either through a joint venture or through a wholly owned subsidiary, full stop. Second point. FDI limit in that's the second point. FDI limit is also called ceiling, the upper percentage ceiling, upper limit. Underline that, below that. Point A public sector banking 20%. I won't say B, C, just write next. Okay, whatever whatever method you're following, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, you follow whatever. Next, news and current affairs media. Dash 26%. Next, insurance comma, airlines and defense dash 49%. 49%. 49%. Next. Multi-brand retail in the question, please. Multi-brand retail 51%. I'm going to discuss this multi-brand retail in detail, in great detail. Okay. Next. Private sector banking. Private sector banking. 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 74%. 74%. Next. Telecom. Come on. Wholesale trading. 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 And single brand retail dash 100%. So the government of India allows foreign direct investment in almost all sectors of the economy. Okay, in some sectors it's not allowed, like chit fund, lottery businesses and all. But in those sectors where it's allowed, the government puts different kinds of conditions, and the most important condition it puts is the number you see on your screen or in your book. Okay, on your screen or in your book. Now, what is this condition? It's a maximum percentage of capital that a foreign investor can bring in. Like for example, you have airlines business. It's easy to learn. Airlines are there everywhere. That's why I picked these kinds of examples. Airlines. You look at Vistara, Air Asia, these kinds of airlines. A good example would be Vistara. Vistara Airlines is a joint venture between India's Tata Group and Singapore Airlines. When Singapore Airlines came to set up an airlines business in India, the maximum, it was allowed to contribute to the capital of this company was 49%. For the rest, they chose an Indian partner. So the Indian partner brought in the rest of the capital. So is the case with insurance companies like ICICI Prudential, which is, ICICI is an Indian financial services company, and Prudential is a British company. You have Birla Sun Life, where Birla is Aditya Birla Group, which is part of it, which is an Indian company, and Sun Life is a Canadian company. Okay, so you have partners, you have these joint ventures. But in some cases, 100% FTA is allowed. 100% FTA is allowed, like in telecom. Let's say America's telephone company, AT&T, which is American Telephone and Telegraph. लेकिन AT&T कहते हैं उसको. AT&T wants to set up a business in India, a telecom business in India. The government would say 100% FTA is allowed. You're most welcome to come to India, set up your entire business on your own. You wouldn't need to have an Indian contributing capital. You can bring the entire capital on your own. 100% capital, have 100% FTA is allowed, which means you will have 100% ownership. That's what it means, nothing else. So in the case of insurance, 51% of ownership shall remain with Indians. 49% is the max that foreigners can own. But in the case of telecom or places where 100%, sectors where 100% FTA is allowed, 100% of capital can be contributed to foreigners, which means that the Indian venture will be a wholly owned subsidiary of the foreign company. Okay. Now, when IKEA is a single brand company, isn't it? But then there was a problem. When IKEA came to India, the government of India said, "You are most welcome to set up a business in India." IKEA said, "Look, we want to set up a business, a furniture business, selling business in India. We are going to set up a huge store in Hyderabad and Bombay and all." But you know, you have one condition and we don't like that condition. The government of India had put one condition that for each of the multiple brands the company sells, it would need a separate store. Like for example, IKEA has an inbuilt cafeteria. हर IKEA स्टोर में एक कैफेटेरिया होती है, पर सरकार ने कहा कि भाई कैफेटेरिया तो आपका फर्नीचर बिजनेस है नहीं. Furniture is different. Selling furniture, selling household utility goods is different from selling food. These are two separate businesses. So you cannot have that. But then IKEA said, look, this is our global business model. Without our food stall, it will be very difficult for people to spend time because we have huge stores, very, very large stores. So we would want you to consider this. For almost 2 years, the government of India did it. IKEA said, look, we want to invest 5,000 crore. Slowly they raised the number. They said, okay, we will invest 10,000 crore. Then the government of India also looked at one thing. Let's give a one-time exemption. एक बार exemption दे देते हैं, because see, look, huge money will come in. Each store, setting up a store would mean that they will provide a lot of employment to the carpenters, to the welders. I mean, just what goes into construction, you will create employment for that. Then IKEA would require skilled labor to run the stores, helpers, yeah. And then they would have, they would create overall employment. Employment would mean that they would have tax, they would have incomes. If employees have incomes, they would need to pay tax. And when let's say I work for IKEA, I have a job, I have an income. Income means purchasing power. I would buy goods and services. My overall quality of life goes up. Yeah, I would employ a maid at home, which means that I provide employment to her. She gets money from me, which means that her purchasing power is there. Now she can buy better quality of food grade. She can send her kids to school. And it is not something that, I work for IKEA. No, look at the number of people who would work for IKEA. Thousands and thousands of them. Direct employment, indirect, those who provide goods to IKEA. They would employ people. Yes, then they would also, those guys would also provide employment. What about the drivers? What about the helpers to the drivers? Think about it. It's not one store we are discussing. We are discussing huge ecosystem around one store. So in Hyderabad, I'm from Hyderabad, we have a huge IKEA store, massive. It's painful to go around. I mean, legs would hurt, and that's one of the reasons why they have a cafeteria, so that people could relax for some time. Okay, so that's single brand retail. And government of India also put another conditions for single brand retail. They said 30% sourcing local se hona chahiye. You should buy 30% of the components or whatever you sell should come from local units. The problem with this is Apple wanted to set up a business in India and then said, look, India does not have the expertise, the manufacturing ecosystem where it can it can give us high quality, spare parts that would go into our products. So Apple wanted a waiver for the 30% clause that 30% of material should come from small and medium enterprises in India. Indian government didn't give any exemption to Apple. Let's see how it works out. It is still playing out. Sometimes they say we are going to give permission. Sometimes they say no, we can't make an exemption. Let us see how it works out. Yeah. But the most controversial FDI thing is what you see on the screen: multi-brand retail. मैं आपको multi-brand retail store का मतलब बताता हूँ. आप departmental store गए होंगे. You have been to Shop Stop. You might have been to Spencer's. You might have been to Star Bazaar. You might have been to Giant supermarket. Yeah, some kind of a supermarket, some kind of a lifestyle store like Will's Lifestyle, West Side, Shopper Stop, Central. Yeah. तो ऐसी दुकानों पे you will find that multiple brands are sold under one roof. एक ही छत के नीचे multiple brands are sold. Okay. लेकिन आपको ये जानकर आश्चर्य ये मालूम होना चाहिए कि ये सब भारतीय कंपनी से. शॉपर स्टॉप इज एन इंडियन कंपनी. ओके. वेस्ट साइड इज ओन्ड बाय टाटास. नाउ देयर is a rule which says that foreign multi-brand retailers can come, set up their businesses, but they cannot sell, they cannot bring entire capital on their own. What's the maximum they can bring? 51%. For the rest, they would need Indian partners. Now, what are the conditions? I'm going to share a few conditions with you. Okay? And because of these conditions, no foreign company has come to India, to set up any multi-brand retail venture. Let's write this. And also, my policy that I also write with you. Okay? So, blank sheet, I'm starting now. So, guys, write. Conditions for setting up multi-brand stores. For setting up multi-brand stores. First condition. Foreign company, foreign investor company एक ही है, foreign investor must bring $100 million in initial investment. Must bring $100 million in initial investment. Number 2, 50% of this $100 million, 50% of this $100 million should be spent in creating CREATING, creating back-end infrastructure, back-end BACKEND, back-end infrastructure, in brackets like cold storages, warehouses, and other supply chain. Basically, all those elements that come into supply chain. Cold storage hai, vans hai, trucks hai, normal warehouse hai, sab kuch. Okay, creating back-end infrastructure, like example something. In the first 3 years. Next. These stores, third point, these stores can be set up only in those cities, which have a population of 10 lakh and more. So million plus population cities कहते हैं इनको, 10 lakh and more. Next. While the central government allows such FDI, such stores can set up, such stores can only be set up, such stores, STORE, stores can only be set up with the permission of state governments. So I've written all my five conditions, 5 major conditions. So we have written 4. Next. At least 30% of materials sold, of goods sold, materials sold, whatever you want, right? Of goods sold in such stores, will have to be sourced, from local small and medium enterprises. Local small and medium enterprises. All conditions हैं, but mainly in fact these are the most important conditions. एक दो चुटपुट है conditions, फर्क नहीं पड़ता उससे. So you look at this. Let's evaluate these conditions. Okay. See, you have a large number of foreign companies which want to set up a business in India. जैसे कि Walmart. You know Walmart, we discussed in the last class. Walmart is the world's biggest company by sales. Last year its sales were $519 billion. $519 बिलियन. आपको मैं इसका अंदाजा देता हूँ कितना होता है कि यू नो TCS का रेवेन्यू था लास्ट ईयर $22 बिलियन, $22 बिलियन. कंपेयर $22 बिलियन and $513 billion, $519 billion. Take 520, 520 यहाँ 22 यहाँ पे means what TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, India's largest IT services company, earned in 1 year, Walmart would earn in less than 1 month. You understand that? That's the scale. And what does Walmart do? It's a multi-brand store, multi-brand retailer. काफी कुछ आप जैसे कि आपके दिनेश शंकर की दुकान है, सुपर डिपार्टमेंट स्टोर है, किराना दुकान वैसे ही, लेकिन बहुत बड़ी. हालांकि किराना दुकान नहीं है, it's a departmental store. It's a very large departmental store, and they are huge stores. In fact, it employs 22 lakh people. 22 lakh people. कुछ लोग कहते हैं it's a glorified kirana shop, but it isn't. Okay, it's a very large. They sell everything under the sun. तो Walmart हिंदुस्तान आना चाहती है, लेकिन Walmart अभी तक hasn't dared to set up a venture in India because of these conditions. Now कुछ एक दो conditions ऐसे हैं कि they say yeah, this is nuts. Like for example, the first condition, what does it say? A foreign investor has to bring in $100 million. Walmart says $100 million is peanuts. 700-800 करोड़ रुपए क्या बात है? So 75 रुपए मान के चलते हैं, under 75 rupees per dollar. So 750 crores. $100 million is 750 crores. They say, oh, it's peanuts, man. We'll bring 10 times that money. That's not an issue. But your second condition is a bad condition. What is the second condition? 50% of that $100 million has to be sold, has to be spent on creating back-end infrastructure. No, government says create infrastructure. Walmart kind of companies say, why should we create infrastructure? हमें क्यों बनाना cold storage? हमें क्यों बनाना godown? हम नहीं बनाएंगे. If there is one already available, we'll take it on lease. Government says no, you can't do that. You will have to, create a new one. You will have to own. You have to own. You may wonder what's the difference. The difference is simple, guys. When you create, you build from scratch. When you build from scratch, well, you create demand for steel, cement, concrete, employment. Yeah, people who would do the, construction work, the supervisory work. You understand that? Electric cabling, air conditioning, wood, everything goes in. Whatever goes in, you create demand, and it has a domino effect. It has a cascading effect. यहाँ से employment मिलता है, वहाँ से उसको transport करने के लिए employment. अभी हम थोड़ी देर पहले हम बात कर चुके हैं इसके बारे में. So it's a larger picture the government looks, but these companies are not happy with it. They don't want to create anything because they say it's a burden to maintain all that stuff. Well then, एक और है. Conditions 3 and 4 मिला के चलते हैं. 10 lakh population. These stores can be set up. I wrote like what I told you. So 10 lakh population. in cities with 10 lakh and more population, is what this, is where these stores can be set up. Now, plus what's the fourth condition? Central government allows FDI, but state government has to approve. Because, my friends, state governments run local stores. Their laws govern the working of local stores. Typically, हर राष्ट्र में कानून होता है Shops and Establishments Act. What is that? Shops and Establishments Act. So, इस कानून के तहत, the name might be different in different cities, states, but normally this is the name. Okay. So, these law, all kinds of stores are subject to approval of the state government. So, unless the state government gives permission to such stores, you cannot set up a store. Like for example, in India, there are 53 cities with a population of 10 lakhs and above. I am talking of census 2011. सन 2011 के सेंसस के हिसाब के 2011 के सेंसस के मुताबिक भारत में 53 ऐसे शहर हैं जहाँ पे 10 लाख से ज़्यादा आबादी है. See, Hindi is not my mother tongue. Okay, हाँ. So 53. But 53 cities, while they are there, about half of them, more than half of them, are in those states which are run by opposition parties. जैसे कि West Bengal है, Maharashtra है, West Bengal especially. You look at West Bengal. West Bengal, they have clearly stated, we will not allow such FDI stores. We will not allow multi-brand stores where FDI is allowed. No, हम allow नहीं करेंगे. अभी कलकत्ता है, इतना बड़ा शहर है, या अगर 20 भी ऐसे मान के चलो, 20 cities out of 53 are in opposition to cities. So where is the investment coming back? So these stores require thousands of crores of rupees of investment. Each store requires thousands of crores of investment, my friends. Not each store, all the stores. You look at Walmart. To set up a store, it won't set up a store like gully corner department store. No, it would have a huge, about 10,000, 15,000 square feet store, and look at the potential to create employment. But these shops are not being allowed in some states. Then the last condition is 30%. 30% का ऐसा है कि these companies say, why should the government apply this condition of 30%? Yeah. What if the local small and medium enterprises from where we want to buy do not produce quality stuff? Don't you think customers won't get value for money? Won't that spoil our image? We have a great brand image. If we sell substandard stuff to customers, our brand image will get impacted. Customers won't get value for money. Remove the condition. If those guys are good, we'll anyway buy from them. Yeah, but government should not put these conditions. But ladies and gentlemen, not a single company except for one UK-based company that has come has sought approval, but no one has come to India to set up any store like this. No one. Absolutely not a single store has come to India. Okay. So, जो भी है अभी तक बेस्ट प्राइस है, मेट्रो है, ये सभी होलसेल ट्रेडिंग में, रिटेल ट्रेडिंग में नहीं. Okay guys, I spent a lot of time on this because this is something I believe everyone here, everyone on the other side of the camera should know. Because this is how economy works, this is how politics works. Politics and economics, economics go hand in hand. Remember, when it comes to foreign politics, foreign policy, economics takes precedence over politics. But when it comes to domestic policies, it is politics first, economics second. Okay, so that's why we have farm loan waivers and everything. However bad they are, they still make sense. Politically they make sense. So I'm sure that you would have learned something from this particular 20-25 minute talk. We have had a very long talk on this. So in any case, let's go to the next one. So from multi-brand stores, which space agency has recently announced a new sun radio interferometer interferometer space experiment, which is sunrise. Okay, mission to study giant solar particle storms. Now, why are these required? Well, of course, the answer is NASA. You write one line, it will help you understand a few things. Please write. Just one idea. Okay, you write sunrise mission dash will help protect 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 astronauts astronauts traveling to the moon and Mars. Basically these two places. We are planning for mission to Mars, but let's see how it works out. When I say we are talking of humankind. Yeah, traveling to the moon and Mars by providing better information on how the suns S-U-N' suns radiation R-A-D-I-A-T-I-O-N radiation means sunlight, basic simple C, but कभी-कभी टेक्निकल भाषा इस्तेमाल करनी पड़ती है. Sun's radiation affects the space environment. They must travel through. They means astronauts. They must travel through. So I'll repeat. Helps protect astronauts traveling to the moon and Mars by providing better information on how the sun's radiation affects the space environment around them. Space environment they must travel through. So solar storms are very dangerous. They are very, very dangerous, my friends. I think we discussed all this in the past. JAXA is Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency. I think not required. You already know all these things. चलिए यहाँ से आगे चलते हैं. See, कई हजारों करोड़, they spend thousands of crores of rupees on such missions. This is, they help us understand how our solar system works, my friends. Very important to understand, and I'm fascinated with all these things. See, as your teacher, I'm interested in learning, and I would want you to learn. I have on my phone an app called NASA, NASA. NASA is a terrific app. अगर आपके फोन पे स्पेस हो तो डाउनलोड कीजिए NASA. It's called NASA. NASA का लोगो होगा उस पे. बहुत बढ़िया है. Next. The currency that the government has declared to be a legal tender, but is not backed by a physical commodity. In the past, it used to be backed by gold. Is called fiat money or fiat money. F-I-A-T. Fiat money. It's very simple. I think that's a fairly simple question. So legal tender. जो भी पैसा अपने पास पैसा होता है, उसका दूसरा नाम fiat money होता है. Fiat means order. Remember this. It's also called fiat. F-I-A-T. Fiat means order. The government has ordered this money to be legal tender. इसको accept करना ही है. That's why it's called fiat money. F-I-A-T. Fiat means order, command, decree. Next. What is the minimum period an insurance firm has to operate and complete for becoming eligible to launch an initial public offering to raise share capital in India? 10 years. About 1.5 months back, SBI Life came out with an IPO. 10-11 साल पहले उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था बिजनेस. आज जाकर उनको चांस मिला कि भाई आप IPO ला सकते हैं. You can raise capital from the public basically. So 10 years is what is required. It's 10 years. So for 10 years they have to work on their own capital. They have to work with their own capital. And then they can take capital from the public. According to the United Nations Development Program, Sustainable Development Goals India Index, which is the best performing state in sustainable growth. Sustainable growth means the growth is being sustained. Telangana. So I am from Telangana, so the answer is Telangana. But we could do one thing. Just आपके book में लिखिए. There are 17 sustainable development goals. There are 17 एक साथ 17 sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals. Okay. Below that. और उसके पास continue. Full stop. Some of the best performing states. Some of the best performing states on particular development goals, on particular development goals are उसके नीचे लिखिए 1 sustainable growth, ये तो एग्जाम्पल है. Sustainable growth dash Telangana. Next, innovation, comma, industry, innovation, comma, industry, comma, infrastructure. तीनों के ऊपर नंबर 1 है dash गुजरात. Innovation, comma, industry, and then infrastructure, comma, dash Gujarat. Next, poverty reduction, dash Tamil Nadu. Next, zero hunger, zero hunger, dash Goa. Last two repeat करता हूँ. Poverty reduction Tamil Nadu, then zero hunger Goa. दो और लगते हैं. Quality education Himachal Pradesh. Last one, land, LAND, land and life means quality of life. Land and life dash Manipur, obviously, Manipur. So we took some best performing states under some of these indexes. Chaliye. According to the US Chamber of Commerce's Global Innovation Policy Center, India has been ranked dash on the 2020 International Intellectual Property Index, 40th rank, 40th. So, this particular index, if you want to write this, write 2020 Intellectual Property Right Index. 2020, you could write in short, Intellectual Property Index. 2020 Intellectual Property Index. Underline that. First one. 53 countries were ranked. 53. 53 countries were ranked. Next. India ranked 40. India's rank was 40. Next. अगर आप स्ट्रेट लाइन में लिखना चाहते हैं आपकी मर्जी, you want to write in straight top 5 or one below the other, you can write 1 2 3 4 5 like this. Next, top 5. 1 US, 2 UK, 3 Sweden, 4 France, 5. Germany. 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 Okay. And I think we have discussed the leaders of all these countries in the past. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. So copyrights हैं, intellectual property rights जैसे कि copyrights, trademarks, कितना piracy. There are a lot of pirated editions of software, everything. So India isn't very good. India isn't doing very well on this front. But things have changed in the last few years. Now the law has become more stringent. Okay, so it's now 40. Things will get better. Next one, the RBI has recently clarified rules on free ATM. What is ATM? Automated Teller Machine. Which of the following should not be counted as valid ATM transactions when the customer has free ATM transactions? 1. Transactions failed at ATMs due to technical reasons like hardware and software issues? Yes. 2. Transactions failed due to non-availability of currency in the ATMs? Yes. 3. Use of ATMs for non-cash withdrawal transactions such as balance inquiry, checkbook request, payment of taxes, funds transfer. All of them, my friends. All of them. 1, 2, 3. ये free transactions नहीं होते. Okay. So if there are some issues there on the other side, we can't really do anything. But anyway, आपने ATM तो आप और मैं हम दोनों ने बहुत देखे हैं, हम सब ने बहुत देखे ATMs. Automated teller machine. Automated means programmed. Teller. In the past, a teller in the bank was the guy who used to give information. आप जाके पूछते हैं मेरे खाते में कितना है, क्या है, data. So the guy used to tell. So teller. Now the machine does all the functions. That's why it's called automated teller machine. Okay. So आप लिखना चाहेंगे when did the first ATM come to India, to the world, and who created the ATM, who invented the ATM? Please write. Please write. First point. Subheading ATM. First ATM. Full form लिखना चाहेंगे? लिखना है आपको? Automated. AUTOMATED. I'm sure most of you know this. AUTOMATED. Automated teller. TELLER. Teller machine. Automated teller machine. Automated teller machine. Underline that. उसके नीचे लिखिए invented by Shepard Barron. SHEPHERD. Shepard. I repeat. SHEPHERD. Shepard Barron. BARRON. Shepard Barron. BARRON. Shepard Barron. Next. First ATM in the world. First installed ATM. First installed ATM. Dash 1957 dash London, LONDON, London dash Barclays Bank, BARCLAY''S, Barclays Bank. You can write without the apostrophe. Barclays Bank. Next, first ATM in India. Dash 1987 dash 1987 dash Mumbai dash HSBC. So HSBC got the first ATM to India. September 4th, 1987. 1987 is fine. Okay. So to repeat, first in London, Barclays Bank brought it, then in India, 87, Mumbai, HSBC. Next, which of the following regulates chit funds? Which of the following regulates chit funds? Local government, it's a local thing. So chit funds are governed by state government laws. It's basically a local finance unit. That's it. Nothing to discuss. Then the coastal security exercise that was recently conducted by the Indian Navy in the Sundarban region. Applicable. Malta Abhiyan. Applicable. In your books you write Malta Abhiyan dash. Why was it created? It was not in, it was not with some other navy or some other country. No. Our own dash. Malta Abhiyan dash. Conducted by Indian Navy, especially Coast Guard. Conducted by Indian Navy to create awareness about coastal security. To create awareness about coastal security in the local community. To create awareness about coastal security in the local community. That's it. So because these routes are used by smugglers a lot actually, and sometimes they could be used for anti-national activities, gun dropping and all that stuff, arms dropping. Okay, we'll discuss Sagar Mala some other time, my friends. Choice 2. It's a project actually. Pramod Agrawal is the new chairman and managing director of, mentioned there, Coal India Limited. Coal India Limited. चलिए ये choices हैं, इनके बारे में लिखते हैं. 1. Steel Authority of India Limited, right? Anil Chowdhury. Choice 1. SAIL, SAIL, SAIL dash Anil Chowdhury. Anil Chowdhury. Next, BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited dash Dr. Nalin, Nalin, Nalin Singhal. Repeat करता हूँ. Dr. Nalin, Nalin, Nalin Singhal, SINGHAL. Nalin Singhal. Then BSNL. Praveen सबके CM भी है. Praveen Purwar, PURWAR, Anil Purwar. Next, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, Sashi Shankar. Next one. Oh, we discussed this yesterday. Which of the following is the measure of a country state in which the value of goods and services it imports exceeds the value of goods and services it exports? Current account deficit. When imports are more than exports, we have a current account deficit. And yesterday we mentioned that India always has had a current account deficit. We discussed balance of payments in detail yesterday. And your feedback said that you liked that very much. Good for us. I am happy. So, this is a good question. Under priority sector lending, within the 18% target for agriculture, a target of 8% is prescribed for small and marginal farmers. So, एक काम करते हैं, notes लिखते हैं इसके बारे में. Priority sector lending. Please write. This is the most important notes I will give in this session. Okay, right. Priority sector lending, PSL. Underline that. First, focused on providing institutional credit, 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 institutional credit to those sectors which find it difficult to gain access to organized credit. Organized credit means from institutions. Unorganized, if you have village money lender, local कहाँ के साहूकार वगैरह होते हैं, बहुत लूटते हैं, बहुत ब्याज होता है उनका, interest rate is extremely high. Yeah. So here the primary focus is to give, to extend loans to those sectors which normally don't, get to the eyes of the government or eyes of the, the bankers. Next, all commercial banks must lend 40% of their total loans to identified priority sectors. Full stop. Next, categories under priority sector. Write this. This is very useful, right? Categories under priority sector. Underline that. First one, agriculture. See, this notes will be self-explanatory. आपको पढ़ते ही मालूम पड़ जाएगा. As you read, oh, this is what it is. Yeah. So I have a very common way of teaching. Like as if you are sitting with me, I'm talking with you. Okay. So, right. First one, agriculture dash 18%, comma, of which 8% is prescribed for आपने वहाँ पे चॉइस में लिखे small and marginal farmers, of which 8% is prescribed for small and marginal farmers. This stuff comes in a lot of interviews, and this is seriously useful, my friends. Okay. Next, second category, medium, small and micro enterprises. Medium, medium, comma, small and micro enterprises, in brackets MSMEs dash 7.5%. So out of 40%, 7.5% should go to MSMEs. For the rest of the sectors, I'm not going to give any percent because there are no prescribed percentages. Only the first two are prescribed percentages. Okay, next. Third one, export credit. निर्यात ऋण कुछ बोलते हैं इसको. Export credit. Next, education loans. In brackets, up to rupees 10 lakh. Up to 10 lakhs. So loans up to 10 lakhs come under priority sector. Above 10 lakhs, not priority sector. Please know that. Okay. So you want to study abroad, you want to take a loan, it won't come under, because a program abroad will cost you a bomb. You know, काफी पैसे खर्च होते हैं, तो वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर में नहीं आता. Next, for creating social infrastructure. For creating, next point, for creating social infrastructure. For creating social infrastructure. Dash. A limit of 5 crores. A limit of 5 crores. A limit of 5 crores is set per borrower. A limit of 5 crores per borrower is set for creating social infrastructure like schools, drinking water supply systems, and sanitation facilities. 5 करोड़ रुपए तक देते हैं पर borrower. Next, renewable energy, RENEWABLE, renewable energy. Next, I think 6 have come. Yeah, housing dash up to rupees 28 lakh, 28 lakh, up to rupees 28 lakh in metro cities in brackets above 10 lakh population, defined by census. Above 10 lakh cities, metropolitan cities, that is above 10 lakh population, जिस शहर की आबादी 10 लाख से ज़्यादा हो, तो वहाँ पे 28 लाख तक लोन प्राइवेट सेक्टर में आता है. ओके, and 20 lakhs in non-metros. So 28 lakh per borrower per housing unit in metro cities and 20 lakh in non-metros. 7 have come. 8 last. Others. Others. In brackets, like self-help groups. There are a lot of them. Joint liability, self-help groups. So guys, you got everything you should know about priority sector lending. I'm sure now you'll be a lot more comfortable. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. World Wildlife Day is observed on dash every year to raise awareness of issues that impact wildlife. March 3rd. What are the choices? March 22nd. Water Day. Please write this. World Water Day. March 22nd. World Water Day. Vishwa Pani Divas. Is it called Divas in Hindi? So, Vishwa Pani Divas, I think. World Water Day. Next, April 17th. Hemophilia Day. World Hemophilia Day. HAE, I repeat, HAEMOPHILIA. HAEMOPHILIA. Hemophilia. Okay. So, April 7th, World Hemophilia Day. It's a disease. The absence of vitamin K leads to this disease, I think. It's a genetic disorder where the blood, once there's a cut it doesn't stop. It's clot नहीं होता, blood stop नहीं होता. तो April 21, right? April 21st. Civil Services Day. Civil Services Day. Dash. On this day, comma, in 1947, that's what I read somewhere. In 1947, comma, the first All India services were launched. First All India services were launched. You know what are All India services? I presume no. Underline that, pull it down and write this. See, I believe everyone is smart. Except your teacher, everyone is smart. But sometimes some things are very, very, like, they are there everywhere. Like in clarity with things together. Okay? So let's write. All India services, underline that, pull it down arrow. Services for which recruitment is done by the central government, but whose services, but their services are placed under state governments. Second part, examples, EX is pronounced with an EG, examples, dash, IAS, IPS and Indian Forest Service, Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service and Indian Forest Service. Chali, March 8th is International Women's Day. You know this. International Women's Day. Next. Who the following are the members of the Financial Stability and Development Council? RBI Governor, Chairman of SEBI, who is Ajay Tyagi now. Irrai Chairman is Subhash Chandra Khuntia Sahib, SC Khuntia, Irrai Chairman. Union Finance Minister is Nirmala Sitharaman. All of them are members of the Financial Stability and Development Council. All of them. Whom of the following has been crowned the 2020 Wisden's leading cricketer in the world? Choice 3. Ben Stokes of England. Williamson was the leading cricketer, if I am not wrong, in 2015. 2015 New Zealand के Kane Williamson. Smith Sahib or Rohit Sharma, हालांकि कभी in the recent past they haven't become, because see, if Ben Stokes, it is not 2020, my friends, it should be 2019. Look at the question, it should be 2019. Okay, 2019 Wisden's leading cricketer in the year. 2020 तो अभी शुरू हुआ है, so 2019 Ben Stokes, Britain. Williamson 2015. So 2016, 2017, 2018, the leading cricketer in the world was Virat Kohli. 16, 17, 18 was Virat Kohli. Stokes was 2019. Williamson was 2015. So last 5 years we got. Chaliye. AIG, Insurance Australia Group. क्या नाम है इसका? Insurance Australia Group has recently sold its entire 26% stake in SBI General Insurance for about $310 million. It's based in Australia. Because I already gave you the full form. IAG, Insurance Australia Group. Okay, so SBI General में काफी investors हैं, 70% is owned by SBI. I went to the website, I looked it up, and I found that 70% capital has been contributed by SBI itself. Okay, the other investors include Premji Invest, which owns a company called Nepean. Don't write anything. Nepean. Then there is a company called WP Honey, which is Warburg Pincus, which is an investment bank. Okay, so don't worry too much about this. The maximum shareholding in this company is by SBI itself, 70%. So, Filal, Australia is the answer, and we know this, country, capital, leader, the currency of all these countries. चलते आगे. The Reserve Bank of India has introduced a new dash prepaid payment instrument which can be used for the transaction of goods and services up to a limit of what? 10,000 rupees. They will be called semi-closed. Semi-closed. I mean, there's hardly anything to discuss here because it's a prepaid instrument. It's already paid. So, there's nothing to discuss. This is the easiest question in this entire set of 25 questions, which is which of the following has been launched by the National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI, to revolutionize mobile payment system in India, Unified Payments Interface. Yesterday we took the full form of, some notes of NPCI, which is, where is the head office? The head office is in Bombay, and who is the CEO? Dilip Asbe, ASBE. Dilip Asbe, ASBE. Dilip Asbe. Okay, I think we discussed this. UPI is very, very useful. Which state government will organize a festival named Jo Kutpui in at least 10 states across India and countries far and wide? Who's the Chief Minister of Mizoram? Zoram Thanga. Zoram. Z-O, it's one word, okay? Z-O-R-A MTHANGA. I repeat, ZO, एक लेटर करता हूँ, ZORAMTHANGA. Zoram Thanga. Manipur, Biren Singh, BIREN, Biren Singh. Haryana, Manohar Lal Khattar. Jharkhand, yes, we haven't discussed Jharkhand often. So Jharkhand CM is Hemant Soren. Hemant, कभी एक बार डिस्कस किया हुआ है. Hemant, HEMANT. Hemant Soren, SOREN. Hemant Soren. Sikkim, it is Prem Singh. Prem Singh Tamang. Prem Singh Tamang is the Chief Minister of India's smallest state by population. Smallest state by population. Which the following companies have recently completed the merger of GSK Consumer Healthcare Limited with itself? HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited. GSK owns Boost पीते हैं आप? Boost, Horlicks, stuff like that. Moldova, ये सब इनके ही है. So अभी आप हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर में आ गए. तो एक काम करते हैं. This is my favorite subject. Discussing companies, policies, and everything. Religion, philosophy, corporate stuff and everything. Economics is incidental. So right, Hindustan Unilever Limited, लिखिए please. HUL. नहीं एक काम करते हैं. HUL पेरेंट कंपनी के बारे में लिखते हैं. ठीक है? यूनिलीवर लिमिटेड आप लिखिए. यूनिलीवर लिमिटेड. यूनिलीवर लिमिटेड. Unilever Limited. Underline that. First point. One of the world's largest consumer goods companies एक वो चिटपुट कंपनी तो है नहीं. Its turnover last year was about 54 billion euros, which is about, मान के चलते हैं यूरो का है 80 रुपए. You know, it is more than, it's almost something like 4.5 lakh crore rupees. How much? 4.5 lakh crore rupees. चिटपुट कंपनी नहीं है, काफ़ी बड़ी कंपनी है फ्रेंड्स. So Unilever, okay. Second point, head offices. दो head offices की. Head offices. London and Rotterdam, Rotterdam. I repeat, London and Rotterdam, 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 Rotterdam. London and Rotterdam. London तो आपको मालूम है ब्रिटेन में है. Rotterdam कहाँ पे है? कॉमा Netherlands. Rotterdam, Netherlands. One of the world's biggest port cities में फ्रेंड्स. काफ़ी बड़ा पोर्ट है यहाँ पे. बंदरगाह काफ़ी बड़ा है यहाँ का. और next chairman, CEO. Chairman Bill Sanders, no, not quite right. CEO. Alan, A-L-A-N, Alan Hoppe, J-O-P-E, J-O-P-E, J लिखते हैं, pronounce with an H, कोई बात नहीं, Joppy भी कह सकते हैं, क्या खाता है, Alan Joppy. Brands, just write 1-2 brands, just 1-2 brands, नहीं लिखना कोई बात नहीं, मैं कह देता हूँ आपको, you know, Lipton चाय वगैरह, Dove Sabun, Lux, yeah, they own Quality Walks, you name it, in Surf, सब कुछ इनका ही है. Huge, it's a huge company, my friends. Okay. Next है आप P&G लिखिए, Procter & Gamble, underline Procter & Gamble. Right, first point. Procter & Gamble, first point. Okay, CEO, no. Head office. Cincinnati. C-I-N-A-T-T-I, Cincinnati. I repeat, C-I-N-N-A-T-I. C-I-N-C-I-N-N-A-T-I. Repeat होता है, C-I-N-C-I-N-N-A-T-I, Cincinnati, comma, Ohio, O-H-I-O, Ohio. Next, CEO, David Taylor, massive company, very big company. इनका सबसे फेमस प्रोडक्ट इंडिया में आपको मिलेगा Gillette. Yes, Gillette. Next, Marico. No, sorry, Godrej Group. ये तो you write dash. Chairman Adi Godrej. Adi Godrej. Marico, ये कंपनी थोड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है. Marico, गोदरेज के बारे में सब जानते हैं तो ज़्यादा स्पेंड नहीं करना टाइम. Marico, M-A-R-I-C-O. Dash, named after the surname of the founders. The surname of the founders. founders. Underline Marico, pull a down arrow, right. CEO dash Harsh Mariwala. MARIWALA. इनके घर का नाम जो सरनेम है मारीवाला, मारिको, that's how it comes. Okay, Harsh Mariwala. Next, brands dash Saffola, comma, इनका सबसे फेमस ब्रांड है पैराचूट हेयर ऑयल, देन एक और लिखते हैं रिवाइव, REVIVE, रिवाइव. इनका सेट वेट जेल भी आता है. मैं दिखाता हूँ तो अलग ही मतलब होता है इसका. लास्ट ITC लिमिटेड. It's huge. ITC is a 55,000 crore company, my friends. Okay, right dash. CEO is Sanjeev Puri. Brands. इनके हेड ऑफिस है कलकत्ता में. ब्रांड्स हैं, राइट. गोल्ड फ्लेक, टोबैको प्रोडक्ट्स इनके बहुत हैं. गोल्ड फ्लेक, क्लासिक, वेलकम ग्रुप होटल्स, WELCOM, I'll repeat, WELCOM, वेलकम ग्रुप होटल्स. और एक और है हेरिटेज होटल्स वगैरह, ठीक है. वेलकम ग्रुप, देन राइट. जॉन प्लेयर्स, नहीं वो भी नहीं है, ठीक है. आप देखिए मंगलदीप अगरबत्ती, मंगलदीप, क्लासमेट, काफी ब्रांड्स हैं, बहुत ब्रांड्स इनके. या आशीर्वाद, सनफीस्ट, प्लेंटी ऑफ देम, किचन्स ऑफ इंडिया. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. Minimum alternate tax is imposed on the book profit of domestic companies which do not report a taxable income or whose income tax is less than the MAT amount. तो मिनिमम अगर टैक्स उनका आता ही नहीं है, नो प्रॉब्लम. गवर्नमेंट सेज नो प्रॉब्लम. You don't have a tax, you don't have a taxable income, no problem, but you will have to pay a minimum alternate tax. आपको भरना तो है ही. This is how government collects tax. Number 2. Okay, so if the taxable income is, let's say 200 crores and the minimum alternate tax is, let's say 250 crores, then the company will have to pay 250 crores. Yes, that's how it works. Who among the following persons has been sworn in as the Chief Information Commissioner? Bimal Julchaka is the answer, Chief Information Commissioner. Choice 5 देखिए, Ajay Bhushan Pandey, Home Secretary, Union Home Secretary. Sunil Arora, Chief Election Commissioner of India. Then Adarsh Kumar Goyal, Chairman of National Green Tribunal, Green Tribunal, Tribunal, National Green Tribunal. Sanjay Kothari, Chief Vigilance Commissioner. Last, I think it's the last question. No, there are more. Who of the following persons has authored a book titled The Art of a Deal, The Untold Story of Melania Trump, the wife of Donald Trump? Mary Jordan. nothing to discuss. Too much of Trump these days. He's there everywhere. According to this Forbes magazine list, the richest person in the world is, of course, Jeff Bezos. But $113 billion यहाँ पे लिखा है. कल मार्केट बढ़ती है तो इनके वैल्यू नेटवर्थ भी बढ़ेगी और घटती है तो नेट भी कम होगी. But by most accounts, the richest man in the world is the chairman of Amazon.com. Jeff Bezos, you could write chairman of Amazon, founder and chairman Amazon. Founder and chairman dash Amazon.com. Warren Buffett, chairman, you write chairman, comma, Berkshire Hathaway, Berkshire, B-E-R-K, I repeat, B-E-R-K-S-H-I-R-E, Berkshire Hathaway, H-A-T-H-A-W-A-Y, Hathaway. What does it do? Nothing. It owns companies. It owns a lot of companies. Fruit of the Loom, heard of it? It's an innovative company. NetJets, private jets, It owns shareholdings in Coca-Cola, Gillette, anything, they own everywhere. They own a lot of brands, my friends. They own a lot of companies. They own shares in a lot of companies. And this Warren Buffett, under his name, you pull it down and write nickname, Oracle of Omaha, Oracle, O-R-A-C-L-E, Oracle, O-R-A-C-L-E, Oracle of Omaha, O-M-A-H-A, Omaha. Oracle means magician. Omaha is the place where he lives. He comes from. Omaha is the capital of the Nebraska state, American state. So, आप 88 साल के 88 years old, and he's considered the big greatest stock investor in the world. तो जहाँ पे ये पैसा लगाते हैं वहाँ सोना बनता है, जो टच करते हैं वो सोना बनता है. तो you know what he says, if you want to become successful like me, what you have to do is to learn. You have to read extensively, and he says every week you must read 500 pages. Every week you must read 500 pages. See, I may not be rich, but I read 500 pages. I follow his advice. In fact, I've been doing this for years now. It's good to read. It's good to learn. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here, I wouldn't be talking, and you wouldn't be learning. So please make sure you work hard to learn, my friends. Life is long. You've got to be happy. Larry Ellison, you write this. Chairman of Oracle Corporation. Chairman of Oracle, O-R-A-C-L-E, Oracle Corporation. O-R-A-C-L-E, Oracle Corporation. Oracle is the world's largest RDBMS maker, Relational Database Management System maker. Bill Gates, is a co-founder of Microsoft. And he is currently, my friends, he is not related to Microsoft in any capacity. He is the chairman of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Choice 5, you could write chairman of LVMH. They will never ask you this in the bank exams and everything, because bank guys would not be interested in these guys. LVMH is the world's largest luxury goods company. LV stands for Louis Vuitton, M stands for Moet, H stands for NSA. Don't worry with any one of these, okay? If it were important, my friend, I would have told you. अगर जरूरी होता मैं खुद ही बता देता आपको. जरूरी नहीं है, but these 5 guys are the richest persons in the world right today, okay? So, and these things keep changing. Don't worry too much about this. I think this is the last question. Which ministry has launched an integrated helpline number 133 for assistance, inquiry and grievance redressal? Railways 139 now always has been associated with railways. Who is the railways minister? Piyush Goyal. Piyush Goyal. So find out the ministers for all of these, my friends. Okay, I'm sure that you learned a lot of good things today, and please continue to learn and share your feedback with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of this video talk. Thank you, and please remember, I'm going to discuss a lot of things, including that stuff on balloon payment and everything else that is planned for the next few sessions. We'll continue to meet, so a lot to come, my friends. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much.